Oh, brother. What is my video going to be about today? I got some light fixtures here. Am I going to be installing these light fixtures today? I might, but that's not going to be included on this particular video series. I am going to install this ceiling fan. And this ceiling fan is going to be installed in this bedroom here. We call this the guest bedroom. And there used to be a light fixture here before, and it had an existing light switch location over here, and so we've got to talk about that because there's certain things I'm going to have to do over there too. Well, if you want to watch that, stick around. Now the first thing, you see where that ceiling fan location is above the bed. And see, if you're going to install a new ceiling fan, and if you haven't moved in your place yet and stuff before your furniture comes in, it's a good idea to maybe decide, hey, are you going to replace the ceiling fan after you paint? Or in this case, there used to be an existing light fixture there. I was thinking all along, I'm taking the light fixture down and I'm going to be reinstalling the light fixture. I never thought that after I got done painting and after the furniture got in, that Mommy wanted a ceiling fan in here. But it kind of makes sense, because then during the summer, if she wants, and if this room is just a hair too hot, instead of turning the air conditioner up higher, we turn the ceiling fan on. And it's going to have a light connected to it, and it's going to be handheld remote control. And in the winter, even in the winter, this ceiling fan is going to work in this room. This room has a heating register. It happens to be on the floor down over here. See it? There it is. And that's the only heat register in this room. And we were trying to figure out where to put the desk unit. And it only made sense to put the desk unit right there for Mommy, for her computer and her copier and the TV. The TV eventually we're probably going to hang on this wall. Okay. But we thought, you know, she was like complaining in this room that the heat, that it wasn't very hot in here in the winter. And she was complaining of always being cold. Well, one of the reasons was because I didn't have this door installed just yet. After I installed the door, I says, hey, now all you have to do is close the door, keep most of the heat in this room, because the heat comes out of this room, then it comes out into this area here, and it gets caught up in here, and it goes up kind of this way and stuff, and it's like there's a constant suction in here. So when the heat comes up from that register, it just flows. That heat just flows out of this room. It comes around here, it goes on down the stairs, or it gets caught up in here. And then here's your heating air return register, and the heat, when that thermostat is on, the heat comes over there, and it takes a direct beeline right up through there. And so no wonder this room is always cold. So I says, keep the door closed first off, and in the winter you can take your ceiling fan. You know how all ceiling fans nowadays has a reverse, and you're like, I wonder what that was for. You probably don't even use it. You probably don't even know why you would want to use it. Well, in the summer you have it going one direction, and that's when the air is blowing straight down, and you can feel it. And then when you turn the ceiling fan the opposite direction, it sucks the air straight up. If you stand underneath your ceiling fan and the ceiling fan's going the opposite direction, you won't even feel it on you. And you'll be like, what's the point of that? Well, the point of that is in the winter, it takes your hot air in this room that gets caught up high, it sucks it up to the ceiling, and then it hits the ceiling, and it's got nowhere to go except to the left, to the right, over this way, back behind you, and it hits your wall, and it bounces down, and it comes down, and then it gets pushed down, and then it comes in closer to the ceiling fan, and then it sucks it back up against the ceiling, blows it back down. And that's how you do it in the winter. So in the winter, if you want your room a little bit warmer, try turning your ceiling fan the opposite direction and see what happens. Some rooms are set up better than others, so you know, it's a hit and miss. So try that out. And I told Mommy, I says, hey, you can do that in the winter too. Well, we couldn't do that if we just put a light fixture back up in there, right? So we're going to have some different options on utilizing this room a little bit better, heat-wise, air-wise, light, not necessarily light-wise, but you know, we're gonna have the light there, but yeah, she can turn the light on wherever she is in the room. If she's laying down, she wants the light on, or if she wants it off, she doesn't have to come over here and turn it off, as long as she's got the handheld remote. Most ceiling fans nowadays come with a remote, okay? But you got to look on the box and make sure. Now see this one here, fan control. So you know the fan has a handheld remote. This one's got a light kit. It also has a light cap. In case you don't want the light, there's a cap there. See, fan direction, seasonal reverse switch, on fan. Indoor use only, fan speed, 3 controls. And on most ceiling fans, if you want to see, you got to look on there if you want to know how tall it is. Maybe you want to know how tall it is from the top of the ceiling, fan location where the ceiling, up next to the ceiling, and down to your ceiling fan blades. What's the height of that? Is it going to be okay in your room? Now we got 8-foot ceilings in here, and you look over here, and the ceiling to blade is 12.52 inches. So that's 12.5 inches. 12.5 would be 12.5 inches. We know from the top to the ceiling fan blade is 12.5 inches, and that ceiling is 8 feet tall. So we're down at 7 feet, and they tell you recommended height for ceiling fans is between 7 and 9 feet. You don't want to necessarily go down less than 7 feet, because then if you're raising your arms, if you're a taller person, you could hit your ceiling fan blades and all that kind of stuff. And where it is, it's above the bed, so it's still a little suspect in here, but you know, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm pretty sure we're going to be fine with it. You can get a different type of ceiling fan that is a hugger fan, where it doesn't have the extension rod, and maybe it fits up slightly tighter to the ceiling, but it's not going to fit up that much tighter to the ceiling than 12 inches, okay? And it tells you all the different things. If you have a sloping ceiling, how far you should be for your down rods and stuff, and it gives you all that information on the box. The other thing you want to look at is how wide in diameter is the ceiling fan. See, this one says 48-inch ceiling fan, okay? And you can get ceiling fans, it just depends what manufacturer there are and what they have at the store. I didn't want something with 52 or 56, 58-inch wide blades, because this is in a smaller bedroom. I said, let's get a smaller one. So I'm looking. Mommy had no idea at the store that they did that. She goes, "Oh, thanks for kind of checking that out." Because in a bigger room, you want the blades to be wider in diameter. Like downstairs, where I just installed a ceiling fan, I wouldn't have wanted one down here that was only 48-inch in diameter. This one, even though it's 3 blades, it almost kind of looks like a propeller, doesn't it, for airplane? Even though it's got 3 blades, it's 52 inches in diameter. You can get these up to 58 inches, and you look on there, I looked on the box when I installed this, and it was good enough for 400 square feet. And that would be a room like this, that's 20 by 20, would be 400 square feet. Well, this is not 20 by 20, it's probably 20 by, oh, I don't know, 14 or so, 15. And so this is way smaller than 400 square feet, plus the additional air can go down the hallway, go up the stairs, whatever. And so I knew that would be fine here. I didn't want to go with something any smaller than that, okay? But they had, like I say, they had 58. If they had one exactly like that was 56 inches or 58 inches, I would have done that. But they didn't at the store. And Momi kind of liked that design. And see, that one's kind of a hugger one. But if I were to measure from the ceiling on down, that's almost a foot there. Even that without the extension. The other one just happens to have the extension with the blades and all that kind of stuff. And you see it rather than having that neck up there. Okay, so 7 to 9 feet you want height-wise when you're installing that ceiling fan. So you can check out all that kind of stuff on the box. Okay, and did you know that they have, like I say, this one's 48 inches. They have one, I know they have them 42 inches, and I know they even have them smaller. I've seen them as small. Well, I've seen one that's 36 inches, and I think they might even have one smaller than that. And you might think, what on earth would you use a small ceiling fan like that for? Well, if you have a bathroom like this one, about this size, and if you have a light fixture that's up in the ceiling, let's say, maybe you want to take the light fixture out, you want to put a small little teeny ceiling fan up there. Okay, you can do that. Just don't get one with big old huge whopping blades. Okay, get a 36 inch or a 32 inch if they have them. They might even have them down to 30 inches. You just have to look and see. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be installing today. I'm going to be installing this. Momi liked it. See, this one happens to be 3 blades too. You can get them. I've even seen some blades, some ceiling fans with only 2 blades. And they come in 3 blades, 4 blades, 5 blades. You saw that other one. Well, if you saw the previous video, you would have seen this. Eventually, I'm going to be putting a ceiling fan up here. This is in our master bedroom. And check this out. I would never have guessed to put a ceiling fan in this big in here, but Momi liked it. She liked it. And you see there? Look at that. It's got 9 blades. You kidding? Look how big that is. And look at that, 72-inch ceiling fan. I'm going to be installing that. That's with 9 blades. So, hey, they got them. They've got them. So, and this room can probably accommodate it. And she likes kind of modern things and stuff. We can just leave this on low and probably have plenty of air moving around here or so. And so that's coming up too. I'm going to be showing that on a different video series. Of course, that's going to take me a while to do. I won't be able to do it in one video clip. And even putting up these small ones, there's no way I'm going to be able to do something like that in 10 minutes. I try to make my videos at least 10 minutes long or a little bit longer. And, you know, can I install this whole thing in 10 minutes? No. If you look at this video, this is the beginning of it. We're probably into it already 6-7 minutes. And so I'm just trying to explain everything on it. And even though this was a light fixture before, this is a really super heavy duty plastic box, but it's the same kind of heavy duty plastic box. See that cavity up in there? It tells me it's a heavy duty one. And they had this same look plastic box downstairs where they had a ceiling fan before. And this condo is about 15 years old, and I know it was inspected before, and that ceiling fan was there. See where this ceiling fan is up here? Look at this. Same plastic box. And there was a big old heavy ceiling fan up there, so I feel way comfortable knowing that that box is probably going to hold no matter what I put up there. Even that 72-inch slinger. So there you go. One ceiling fan installed. And you know what? You did it yourself. You did it yourself and you saved a lot of money, or you will be able to do it yourself now because, hey, if I can do it, of course you can do it too. All right. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. I'm salivating because I'm glad that this project is over.